The recording inshallah will be uploaded by يعني I will try my best to upload right after the sessions بس يعني the time it takes until you upload and until it يعني loads وكل هذا فيعني بعد ما السيشن يخلص أنا I'll straightforward try to upload it on YouTube. Okay, let's begin. Today we will be talking about simultaneous equations. Week 1 to now was not recorded, I believe. Yesterday's session was not recorded. I will double check with Sara if there are recordings for it, or I will let you know. ومن الحين أقول لكم ما في دكتور ما دكتور. I'm a student just like you guys. بس أعرفكم شوية عن نفسي. أنا اسمي فيصل محمد. I am a mechanical engineering third student في الجامعة وياكم. سموني بس فيصل الله يخليكم لا تخلوني أحس عمري شيبة. Alright, no doctor, no nothing, just Faisal, bro, friend, whatever, just not doctor please. تمام. بنبدأ بنحل simultaneous equations. So in simultaneous equations we have two main methods that we can use. أول method is called elimination method. To start with the elimination method, the idea of it is to eliminate one of the variables we have. So let's start with x plus 3y equals 7, y minus 4x is equal to 11. So the elimination method is when we need to get rid أو نفتك يعني من one of these variables عشان we can solve for the other one. A simultaneous equation is basically an equation that has two variables. In this case, we have x and y. And it has two equations. And we need to solve for x and y. So, starting with the elimination method, we first need to arrange both equations so that both x's are arranged over each other and y's are over each other. And the constants, الأرقام البروحة, to be on the right side of the equation. So we want these two x's to be above each other and these two y's to be above each other. To do that, we can simply rewrite the equation. أول equation خليه نفس ما هو x plus 3y is equal to 7. The second equation, we will just move this x to before, which is minus 4x plus y is equal to 11. I will explain in a bit, just give me a second. الصوت اللي عندي وايد ضعيف للكل هالشي ولا أنا صوتي واضح؟ Okay. Ibrahim, just double check من صوبك يعني just make sure that the sound is يعني you have the sound. Okay, good. انزين coming back to the question, عشان نحل هذا السؤال, alright, we have to rearrange it, وأنا I arranged it in this way. And I took this x over here. All I did was move it, لأن in math you can simply just move the variable with the sign of it, which is negative. I moved it to the beginning and then I moved the y to the end of the equation. عشان بس الترتيب يكون الحين ال x's are above each other وال y's are above each other. We can make y alone. I will solve the questions first inshallah. بعدين I will try to answer your questions عشان بس ما يستوي خربطة يا جماعة. So I will explain بعدين سالفة ال y بروحها وكذي. So anyways, continuing here. The idea is you want to eliminate, like I said, one of these variables. To do that, you have to look at the variable alone. يعني we are going to look at just the two x's here. To be able to eliminate these two equations, these two variables قصدي ال x's, we have to multiply the equation up here إنزين اللي هو x plus 3y equal to 7. We have to multiply it with the number that is present here, which is the minus 4. So we have to multiply this with 4. And obviously, when you multiply one variable with the same number, you have to multiply every other variable in the equation with the same number, اللي هو بنضرب هني ب4 و we multiply here again by 4. But if you want to rewrite this equation again, it will become 4x plus 3y, plus 3 times 4y is equal to 4 times 7. Okay, so that's basically what we are doing. الفكرة إنه we want to eliminate this minus 4 in the equation down here. And to do that, we have to multiply the other equation with the same constant we have for the x. So if we solve this equation, it's going to be 4x plus 3 times 4 is 12y is equal to 4 times 7 is 28. Okay. And then we rewrite the other equation, which is minus 4. 1 second. It crashed. Just to give me a second. And then we will be, like I said, 28. We will be rewriting this equation. The second equation up here, minus 4x plus y equal 11, minus 4x plus y is equal to 11. Okay. Now, as you can see, the 4x here will cancel with the minus 4x here when we are adding these two simultaneous equations. So when we are adding the simultaneous equations, we will write it step by step. So we will write first the first variable here, 4x. Then the second one here, minus 4x. This will obviously be 0. Then we will write this variable over here, which is plus 12y. بعدين هني, and with the sign of it, of course, plus y is equal to, لأن هني في equal sign, بنكتب هذا 28 plus 11. Okay. So now, as you can see, the x's are gone. وعندنا equation بس في y. So now we can find the value of y. ف 12y plus y, as you all know, plus y here, it's as if it is 1y. So 12y plus 1y is 13y. يساوي 28 plus 11, which is 39. Okay. Then we can solve for y, which is equal to 39. We will divide both sides by 13. And y is equal to 39 over 13, because the 13s here will cancel, which is equal to 3. Now, to clarify a point about the sign here, obviously we want to have opposite signs, يعني بين the first equation و second equation in the variable. هني مثل ما تلاحظون عندنا already minus في equation موجودة. Because the minus هني موجودة, we are just going to simply do 4x minus, يعني we will just multiply with plus 4x. لأن we want them to have opposite sides. فلأن هني minus, هني لازم يكون plus حق ال 4. That's why we are multiplying the equation originally up here with 4, not minus 4. So it all depends on the sign you have in the equation. So far I hope this is clear. And then after that احنا بنروح, now we found the y, we found the solution for y. Y يساوي 3, it's equal to 3. If we go here, we need to now find x. So now we found the y, but we need to find the x. So we know that y is equal to 3. We can substitute back in any of these equations, in any of the equations that are already given. Alright, عشان we can find x, يعني تعويض. So let's, for example, take the first equation, which is x plus 3y is equal to 7. So we will substitute for y here. بنعوض بس, بنحط 3 مكانه. So x plus 3 into 3 is equal to 7. This is basically multiplication. X plus 3 times 3 is 9, is equal to 7. And x is equal to, if we take the 9 to the other side, is equal to 7 minus 9. So x is equal to minus 2. And now we found the solution to the equation. Our x is equal to minus 2. And our y is equal to to 3. Okay? Any questions about what I have done here? Anything that is not clear? Can we use mode 5.1 for this question after arranging the equations? To be honest, أنا سالفة المود 5.1 والمود 5.3 I am not 100% sure how much يعني steps اللي أنا عارفة it's gonna be all online and multiple choice يعني if I'm not mistaken. if يعني you are not required to do the steps step by step solving, yes you can use the calculator to solve يعني using mode 5.1 in this case, or for quadratics you can use mode 5.3. But if you have to show you're solving يعني you have to make sure you're following the same process. So anyone else has any question؟ حد بعد عنده أي سؤال عن الموضوع؟ في شيء مو واضح؟ عشان we can move on to the substitution method. على راحتك محمد, you can check. Alright, let's move on to substitution method. Alright. The substitution method الحين الفرق بين elimination with substitution, the difference is substitution you are going to try to, like one of your colleagues said earlier, we are going to try to put either the y alone in the equation or the x alone in the equation, and then we will be substituting. So let's take the example 3x plus 7y is equal to minus 15, x minus 3y is equal to 11. Okay. Sara, I'll get back to you. خلينا نخلص the substitution and I'll get back to you and answer that question. So الحين خلصنا احنا ويا elimination method. With the substitution method, the idea is to take one of these equations, alright, and يعني either keep just the x on one side by itself or the y on one side by itself. The easiest way for me to do this, or يعني my tip to you guys, is always look for the variable that has no numbers with it. يعني في الحالة الx ما في أي رقم عنده, مو نفس الy في minus 3. There's no any numbers next to the x. So we will use this equation, the x minus 3y is equal to 11. Now we want to move the y to the other side so that the x is alone in the equation. So x is going to be equal to 11 plus 3y. This is the first step. We have done the first step. We got our equation, our x alone on one side. We have to do that for only one of the equations. Now the second equation we have here, which is 3x plus 7y, is equal to minus 15. What we have to do is this x لازم نعوض what we have. We have to substitute this value into the x here. So basically all we will do is do 3 into 11 plus 3y. Okay, so this is just the x part, the 3x part. This is the same part. Then we write the remaining equation, plus 7y is equal to minus 15. Okay? Now, as you can see, we have an equation with only one variable, y. We only have the y here. There's no x's, and we can solve for y. So the first step in solving this equation is distributing the 3 inside. So it will be 3 times 11 plus 3 times 3y plus 7y is equal to minus 15. So 3 times 11 is 33, 3 times 3y is 9y, plus 7y is equal to minus 15. Alright, so to solve this equation, we simply just do we just add the same terms, which is the 9y and the 7y, And the 33, we can take it to the other side so that it is gonna be subtracted from here. So 9y plus 7y is equal to minus 15 minus 33. Okay, 9 plus 7y is 16y is equal to minus 15 minus 33, which is minus 48. So the y is going to be equal to, if you divide both sides by 16, 16 here will cancel. Y is going to be equal to minus 48 divided by 16, which is equal to, if I'm not mistaken, minus 3. Let me just double check with the calculator. Yeah, minus 3. So we found the y, حصلنا ال y, we found the y value, which is equal to minus 3. الحين we need to find the x. Keep in mind we have to find both the x and y. فنقدر نرد نعوض في الايكويشن هني اللي طلعناه من قبل. الايكويشن هذا equation اللي طلعناه من الفيرست ستيب. نقدر نعوض ال y minus 3 نعوضه في ال y اللي هني. So by doing that, I'm just gonna rewrite the equation down here. It is x is equal to 11 plus 3y. So x is equal to 11 plus 3y. So x is equal to 11 plus 3 into minus 3, which is this minus 3. We just plugged it into the y. Okay? And then we solve for this equation. X is equal to 11 minus 3 plus times minus becomes negative, and then 3 times 3 is 9. So x is equal to 2. Is that okay for everyone? So now we found the y is equal to, or x is equal to 2, and y is equal to minus 3. Okay. Is substitution fine? انزين في حالة لأن أنت you're saying الامتحان multiple choice. If it's actually multiple choice يعني you don't have to write down any numbers, which I'm not sure about بصراحة. But if it's multiple choice, all you have to do is just plug in these values in the main equations and make sure الجواب يطلع نفس الشيء. يعني for example إذا رحنا فوق هني خدينا هالequation مثلا 3 أو x minus 3y equal 11. Okay. X minus 3y is equal to 11. Into you will plug in the x value مثلا 2 بتحطونه هني في ال x. هذا 2 you will put it in the x. يعني مثلا this is one of the multiple choice answers. فبيكون 2 minus 3y is equal to 11, and you will solve for the y. ف 2 بتاخذون الصوب الثاني minus 3y is equal to 11 minus 2. 11 minus 2 يساوي 9, so minus 3y is equal to 9. وبعدين divide by minus 3 both sides. ال y يساوي 9 over minus 3, which is equal to minus 3. Okay. فبعدين تشيكون إذا ال y في ال multiple choice يساوي ال y اللي طلع لكم هني. If it's actually multiple choice. بس I recommend لأن I don't know if you have to type it in ولا fill in the blanks and drag and drop boxes. ما هذا هو. If it's fill in the blanks يعني you have to do the solving yourself, and يعني مثلا تكتبون x equal 2 أو y equal minus 3 if I'm not mistaken. لأن اتغير شوي النموذج من previous years, so I'm not exactly sure. I'm just here. I'm just want to make sure everyone عنده الفكرة يعني ال concepts فاهمينه. Alright. فالsubstitution method مثل ما شفتوا, the first step was just a quick recap. The first step is you find the variable that is alone, and then you solve it. Basically you keep the x on one side and then the other equation on the right side. After that you will substitute in the first equation or the other equation that you didn't put the x on one side. You will substitute 11 plus 3y instead of the x. After that you will just solve for y. Once you solve for y you will get a value. When you solve for y, the value you get for y you will plug in back into this equation, and that's it. one b قصدك هذا أو قصدك سوري عبد الله. Okay, we will do 1b now. زين بس عشان you get the concepts even better. هو تشوفوا simultaneous equations you need to understand very well, very well, لأن بعدين in week 6 and 7 if I'm not mistaken you will be doing graphing and you'll have to solve the same simultaneous equations. So I want to make sure كل حد فاهم هني الكونسبت ماله أهم شيء، لأن حتى لو يعني عندكم multiple choice exam or whatever وكذي للحين لازم يكون فهمكم تفهمون how to actually do the solving for other parts of the questions, because some questions for graphing ما بيكون عندكم الانسر من multiple choice directly and you'll have to do a simultaneous equation to get the value to determine another value كذي بيكون. And we will see that inshallah after a couple of days. We will solve this again, part B. And then we are using elimination method. So we are using the elimination method. 3x minus 5y is equal to 31, and then x plus 3y is equal to 1. Okay, so we have a simultaneous equation. We have two equations. This is a 3. We have two equations and two variables that we need to find. Again, we want to, for example, in this case, cancel the x's or eliminate the x's. Since the sign, first thing you look at is the sign. So since these are both positive, okay, obviously we want to eliminate the x, so we have to multiply by 3. We know that much. We know we have to get rid of this 3, so we know we have to multiply down here by 3. Okay? But because they are both positive, we need one of them to be negative. So we have to multiply by minus 3. So that eventually this equation will have a minus. Yani the bottom equation will have a minus. And then both x's will cancel because they have to have the opposite signs here. Since they're both positive, we have to multiply with a minus. So obviously when you multiply one component of an equation, you have to multiply all of the rest بعد. فهذا times minus 3 وهذا times minus 3. Don't forget they're all minus 3s. If we rewrite the equation, it will be minus 3x minus 3y. Oh, دقيقة. Let me just clear. بيكون minus 3 times 3y equal to minus 3 times 1. I just did it like this عشان يكون شوي أوضح حق بعضكم. If we simplify this, it's minus 3x. Minus 3 times 3 is minus 9y equal to minus 3 times 1 is minus 3. Okay? So now if we want to rewrite both equations again, it is going to be 3x minus 5y is equal to 31. Or minus 3x minus 9y is equal to minus 3. هو elimination, there was a question, we can eliminate y instead as it is easier, right? Or should we always eliminate x? Always eliminate the variable اللي عندكم هني يعني في هالحالة variable اللي does not have anything يعني any number next to it. ما في أي coefficient. coefficient ما بما معناه 1. It is always easiest to eliminate that variable. فدائما اختاروا variable يعني x or y that is alone يعني that does not have any numbers next to it, because it just makes it so much easier to just multiply it and cancel. That's why we are choosing the x in this case. That's why I'm choosing the x. Okay? So to continue these equations, now we can solve them by adding. We add both these equations. So 3x, the first value, minus 3x, the second value, minus 5y, minus 9y, equal sign, plus 31, which is just 31, minus 3. The 3x and the 3x minus 3x becomes 0. And we are left with minus 5y minus 9y is equal to 31 minus 3. As you can see, we only have y. To solve this, minus 5 minus 9 is equal to minus 14y is equal to 31 minus 3, which is 28. 28, yes. All right. And then you can solve for y by dividing by minus 14, dividing by minus 14. So the y is going to be equal to 28 divided by minus 14. So the y is equal to minus 2. Okay? So after that, obviously, we're going to have to substitute in one of these equations. Let's substitute back into x plus 3y equal 1 to find the x. So x plus 3y is equal to 1. Okay, we will just substitute this minus 2. This minus 2 over here, we will take it, and then we will substitute it in the y. So x plus 3 into minus 2 is equal to 1. X is plus 3 times minus 2 is minus 6 is equal to 1. X is equal to, we'll take the 6 to the other side, 1 plus 6. X is equal to 7. So the answer is x is equal to 7 and y is equal to minus 2. You can choose any equation. تقدرين تختارين أو تقدر تختار أي equation. You can choose any equation to يعني for substituting عشان تعويض. يعني you can use the first equation or you can use the second equation. My يعني advice, my hint أو تقدرون تقولون الtrick is always like I said, look for the variable اللي ما يكون فيه وايد أرقام لأن it just makes the calculation a bit faster and easier. That's it. Alright, always look at the variable. يعني هني مثلا في هالexample الx, always look at the x. This is the only x اللي ما في له 3 5 أو 3 مثلا ما في له ورا الرقم عشان شي I'm using this variable أو this equation. نفس الشيء هني كنا نقدر نختار يا y يا x. It's both the same. يعني you can do the same thing. Just to recap, بس بعد مرة أرد أعيد أهم شيء you double check الsigns. الساين اللي عندكم هني if it's plus and plus لازم تضربون بماينس if it's plus and plus. okay, if it's already minus ليش الفكرة شو؟ لأن احنا في النهاية we want to cancel and have it equal to 0. For it to cancel and equal to 0, one of the signs has to be opposite to the other. That's why if they are already given both as plus, we will multiply by the value بس negative. If واحد منهم already minus والثاني plus, perfect. We can move on. نفس الفكرة if they are both minus and minus لازم we multiply يعني by minus بعد مرة. ليش؟ لأن احنا الماينس والماينس إذا مثلا كان عندنا minus 3x هاي يعطينا minus 6x. ف we need one of them to be opposite sign. يا هذا يكون plus أو هذا أو شو اسمه هذا يكون البلس مثلا وهذا يكون minus. Okay, so the idea is we have to multiply. if the sign is the same, if they're both plus أو both negative يعني إذا اثنيناتهم موجب أو اثنيناتهم ناقص لازم you have to multiply with a negative sign. إذا واحد منهم plus واحد منهم minus مو لازم تضربون بالnegative sign. هاي أهم نقطة. Any questions about either substitution or elimination method? Is it clear so far? Do you want me to do one more example of substitution? Do you want me to do this one? Where is it? Part B for substitution method? ولا فاهمين الفكرة عشان we move on? Okay, it looks like يعني I'm assuming everyone is understanding. So either ways we multiply by a minus. مو either ways. if إذا يعني إذا عندكم إذا نقول مثلا x plus 3y equal 10 و minus 7x plus 2y مو مهم equal 3. إنزين إذا عندكم هالإكزامبل هني الساين مالنا plus. okay, هني الساين plus, هني الساين is already minus. In this case, when you're multiplying, you're just gonna multiply by 7. Okay? إذا كان الساينز يعني إذا كان الإكس كان الإكويشن minus x و minus 7x مثلا والباقي بعد طبعا، هني في هالحالة عندنا double negative, both of them are minus، فهني we have to multiply by minus 7. إذا بعد كانوا plus نفس الشيء we have to multiply by 7. ف 2 cases أو تقدرون تقولون 3 cases. تضربون by a positive number إذا كان واحد منهم minus واحد منهم plus، إنزين، أو العكس يعني هذا يكون minus مثلا وهذا يكون plus. إذا كانوا اثنيناتهم plus أو اثنيناتهم minus you will be multiplying by a negative number. Does that answer your question? Does that clarify it a bit? حلو. Alright, moving on. And here we will just do the same exact thing, elimination method that we did, but we have a quadratic equation. أعرف الناس how they feel towards quadratic equations, but there's nothing complicated, just follow steps. Alright? Let's start with the first one. A, y plus x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 2x squared minus 6x plus 8. There are many different ways. أكيد الأستاذ بيكون قايل لكم طريقة، وإذا يعني attended with Sara I'm pretty sure she said a different way، بس أنا بقول لكم أنا طريقتي أحس أسهل طريقة أحله عشان to minimize the mistakes and I follow steps. أوكي. الحين نفس الفكرة من فوق، إنزين نفس الفكرة اللي سويناها قبل حق elimination. We have to order الوايز يكونون above each other والx's يكونون above each other. اوكي. فطبعا هني لان عندنا x squared بنضم احنا ال x squared ويا الاكسات الباقية، يعني ويا anything that has x we will put them under each other. انزين. So how do we do that? أول واحد عندنا y plus x equal 5. حلو. ال y وال x is on the left side of the equation وال 5 بروحه on the right، فمو لازم نسوي شيء فيه. ال second equation بنرد نكتبه، بنسوي y equal to أول شيء بس أرد أكتبه 2x squared minus 6x plus 8. We will move this 2x to this side and we will move this minus 6x also to this side. Okay? Let's do it step by step. So when we are moving the 2x squared, y minus 2x squared is equal to minus 6x plus 8. Alright? وبعدين we want to move this minus 6x بعد to the other side. Y minus 2x squared هني minus, so it will become plus 6x is equal to 8. Okay? The reason I do it this way is عشان بعدين بيسهل لنا الموضوع شوي. Okay? So, continue. Now if we rewrite the equations, y plus x is equal to 5. And y minus 2x squared plus 6x is equal to 8. طبعا we want to make sure ان ال x ويا ال x يكون lined up. ال x مو x squared ما في x squared لأن عندنا في الإيكويشن فوق، ف we want to just make sure ال x is with the x. هذا أهم شيء. Okay? Now, when we want to solve this, we have to look at the variable اللي ما في squared لأنه يسهل لنا الموضوع. ففي هالحالة ال y إنزين ما في squared. It's not يعني to a power of 2 مو بأوسط 2 أو أي شيء. So we will try to solve for y or eliminate بالأصح y لأنه هو السؤال طالب منا. We do it by elimination method. Okay? To do that, we do the exact same steps we did from before. We choose one of the y's إنزين لأن they're both equal 1 و 1. نشوف الساينز مالهم. This is plus, this is plus. فأوكي. فشو لازم نسوي? We have to multiply one of them by minus 1. ليش؟ لأن they have the same signs. هاي ال y كأنه 1y وهاي ال y كأنه 1y. So عشان يكنسل it you just have to multiply by minus. So we multiply this by minus 1 معناته we have to multiply everything else by minus 1 in the first equation. So if we rewrite the first equation بيكون عندنا minus y minus x is equal to minus 5. alright. ونرد نكتب الإكويشن الثاني اللي هو y minus 2x squared plus 6x is equal to 8. عشان بس يكون شوي أسهل أنا شو بسوي؟ برتب الإكويشن بطريقة I'm not doing anything and I'm just putting spaces الحين زين. I'm not gonna do anything يخرع. فهاي الإكويشن كان y minus y minus x okay is equal to minus 5. It's the same exact equation بس أنا حطيت فراغ هني بس. الفكرة ليش حطيت فراغ؟ عشان إنه لأنه ما عندنا x squared فوق فعشان it doesn't يعني doesn't شو اسمه make it يعني إنه ما makes it easier بعدين في calculation when you are adding both equations. بس هاي الفكرة منه. فأنا this is my way يعني this is how I do it. Okay. Now we add. فعندنا نبدأ always go in order. Okay. Always make sure you're going in order. So we start minus y. Don't forget the sign. Minus y plus y. Okay. ما عندنا شيء هني فنخلي فراغ هني. ما في شيء. فراغ هني. زين. ما برسم الفراغ بس إنه ما عندنا شيء. So we go to the next variable. Minus 2x squared. Okay. Minus 2x squared. Minus x. Minus x. Plus 6x equal sign عندنا ال equal sign نروح minus 5 8 plus 8. okay. And now we can see ال x's ال y's sorry في هالحالة they will go to 0. alright. we can يعني solve the remaining equation اللي هو minus 2x squared minus x plus 6x minus x plus 6x يساوي plus 5x is equal to minus 5 plus 8 اللي هو نفس 8 minus 5 يساوي 3. alright. الحين we have something of similar to a quadratic equation. well it is a quadratic equation بس احنا how do we solve quadratic equations؟ لازم يكون in this form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. فلازم the right hand side مالنا يكون 0. هني right hand side 3. So how do we make it 0? Simply we just move this 3 over here. Minus 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 is equal to 0. We're done. To solve this طبعا في many different ways and I'm pretty sure you guys use the beautiful mode 5-3. okay. بس أنا I want to also just أحله ويا استخدام مو الفاكتورينج method. I hate the factoring method بس ويا الكوادراتيك equation عشان مرة واحدة يعني you get an idea of the how to solve a quadratic equation بدون mode 5-3 just in case. alright. I will just do it really quickly. عندنا equations الإيكويشن عندنا بيكون x1 و x2 الجواب ماله. حلو. مود 5-3 مثل ما قلتوا تقدرون تحلونه على الكالكوليتر بس just to clarify and show you the steps. فعندنا الإيكويشن هو minus b plus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. انزين هذا ال x1 وال x2 is minus b minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. okay. فإحنا نعرف ال a مالنا في هالإيكويشن is equal to minus 2 ال b is equal to 5 وال c is equal to minus 3 and I'm pretty sure all of you know that by now. So it is going to be equal to, for x1's case, just 1 minute. Okay, it's going to be equal to minus b, which is minus 5, plus square root b squared, which is 5 squared, minus 4 times a, which is minus 2. Don't forget the sign, minus 2. And c, which is minus 3. Okay, divided by 2 into a which is minus 2. الحين تحطون هالرقم في الكالكوليتر وبيطلع لكم جواب نفس الشيء minus 5 minus square root b squared اللي هو 5 squared minus 4 into minus 2 minus 3 all over 2 minus 2. اوكي وبعدين بتحطه في الكالكوليتر يطلع جواب. انزين this is to solve x. مثل ما تشوفون الاكس مالنا بيكون عنده 2 values. بيكون عندنا x1 و x2. اوكي فطبيعي الجواب مالنا بعدين when we are substituting we will have to substitute both x1 و x2 عشان نطلع مثل ما تقولون y1 و y2 which I will show you. بس على السريع let me حد عنده الجواب؟ حد bothered trying to calculate it with me ولا؟ عشان أتأكد بعد خطواتي صح. 2 minus 2 ف x1 is 1.5. لا أنا طلع لي x1 يساوي 1. يمكن أنت قصدك x2 أو قصدك ايه x1 أنا طلع لي 1 و x2 طلع لي 1.5. okay it's the same thing يعني. okay so one of the x's is 1 and the other one is 1.5. alright مثل ما قلت you can use mode 5.3. nothing wrong with that. بس احتياط keep in mind at least this equation عشان يكون عندكم فكرة if you don't have a calculator بس عشان you know the proper way of solving without a calculator يعني. alright moving on. So now we remember if our x's x1 was equal to 1 and x2 is equal to 1.5. So الحين we know we're gonna have a y1 is equal to y2 is equal to لأنه we have two different x's فبلازم يكون عندنا two different y's. فتقدرون تردون تعوضون في any of these equations اللي من فوق شفناهم any of these two equations. بس I recommend تعوضون في equation اللي ما في quadratic لأن it makes it easier to just plug in the number. ف y plus x equal 5 y plus x equal 5. فأول واحد حق y1 اوكي حق y1 بنعوض احنا ال1 هني this one بنعوضه في الاكس فبيستوي plus 1 is equal to 5 y1 يساوي 5 minus 1. we're just taking this over here 5 minus 1 which is equal to 4. okay y1 is equal to 4 فنكتب y1 is equal to 4. نفس الشيء نسوي حق y2 لأن 2 لازم نعوض x2 اللي هو هذا ال x2 هني. انزين بنعوضه حق ال y2 طبعا. alright so y2 plus 1.5 is equal to 5 y2 we'll take just this to the other side is equal to 5 minus 1.5 so y2 is equal to 3.5. okay طبعا لو تكتبون هذيلا في الكالكوليتر ممكن ال y2 يكون يعني طالع لكم بيكون 7 over 2 صح 7 over 2 وهذا بيكون 3 over 2 in fraction form. alright so this is the method. هذا الجواب خلاص. فالجواب عادة يكون in coordinate form يعني بيكتبون لكم ال first point هو x1 يعني 1 4 اللي هو هذا ال x1 وال y1 وبعدين x2 y2 بيكون 1.5 أو 3 over 2 أو 3.5 أو 7 over 2. كذي بيكون الجواب. clear? Any questions about elimination with quadratic equations? okay I will do part B لأن part B فيه شوية يعني a trick to it بعد تقدرون تقولون. It's not complicated. هو شوفوا هو you have to follow steps. You have to follow procedure. يعني من ناحية ال simultaneous equation it's exactly the same. You're doing the exact same thing. You are just lining up ال y وال x إنزين making sure هم كله on one side. The value اللي ما عندنا يعني square أو quadratic equation فيه بنحله إنزين بعد ما نحل هذا or eliminate it بالأصح we just simply solve the equation. في هالحالة بيكون عندنا quadratic equation which you already know from before how to solve. You solve the quadratic equation بيطلع لكم الجواب x1 و x2 تعوضون وتطلعون y1 y2 substitute back and that's it. So it's not complicated, it requires practice. If it was complicated I will tell you it's complicated. Like I said, lining up the equation it takes practice. You have to just make sure it's very straightforward. يعني if you are looking at this equation إنزين you are just making sure the y's are above each other. You're just making sure the x's are above each other. Okay. And then the constants are, for example, 5, 10 or whatever, إنزين, are on the other side. But that's what you need to make sure of. إذا عندكم حالة x squared, إنزين, you make sure that the x squared و x, يعني this is my way to do it. Okay. My way to do it. إنك تحطون ال x squared وال x كله هني وحق ال x squared لأنه ما في x squared فوق تحطون فراغ بدال هذا. إنزين. فتشيلونها you put a space وبعدين هني تحطون ال x عشان لأنه ما في x squared عشان ما يعقدكم ال x squared they're still lining up. okay obviously يعني إذا هذا الشيء وايد مضايقكم إنزين بس عشان I just show you الحين هذا كان الإيكويشن مالنا 2x squared minus 6x plus 8 2x squared minus 6x plus 8 y يساوي هالشيء وعندنا أظني y plus x equal 5. If it is getting too complicated when you're lining up everything, just line up ال y وال x. Okay? يعني بس خذوا ال x ودوا الصوب الثاني. عشان يوم ال line up يستوي y plus x equal 5 و y plus 6x equal 2x squared plus 8. I don't recommend doing this بس كل واحد ترى بطريقته however he is more comfortable with. أنا I do it that way the other way إنه I put the minus 2x squared with the lineup وبعدين أحط فراغ فوقه لأنه يكون بعدين أسهل when I'm simplifying the constants on the right side والequations. I like to keep my variables all on the left و I like to keep the constants الأرقام العادية اللي عندي بدون variables على اليمين on the right. Okay? Any other questions about elimination substitution or this خلينا خلصنا الحين بنروح للword problems from من ناحية solving مال elimination أو مال substitution anyone has any questions? Clear? Okay. So moving on نروح نسوي some word problems. الحين ال word problems I know a lot of people يعني are struggling with it. شنو C? You want me to do part C يعني? You want to do زين. How about this? I will do part C, okay, but let me finish a few word problems عن الوقت عشان بس إن Hassan, I will answer your question as well about that. Just remind me after I finish some of the word problems. Substitution is much easier, much easier, إنزين. But let us finish. I want to finish some word problems. أنا أحس الصعوبة most students have are from the word problems. So as soon as I'm done with that, I will, inshallah, get back to that question. All right. Now, Suvinder spends 26 pounds on 100 postage stamps. If X of them are 20 pence stamps and the remaining Y are 35p stamps, write down the two equations in X and Y and solve them. All right. هني أول شيء the idea is we're gonna have to create two simultaneous equations, okay? But we have to understand the question, so we have to go step by step. So yes, this meeting is recorded, Hussein. So Suvinder spends 26 pounds on 100 postage. يعني شو؟ يعني postage stamps stamps هاي اللي نحطها على البريد انزين اشترى 100 حبة منهم وصرف عليهم 26 باوند اوكي 26 pounds total. عشان to make it a bit simpler بنحوله بحريني دينار اوكي. I will upload the video on YouTube and I will send you the link inshallah. So back to the question. Survender spends 26 pounds on 100 postage stamps. فعشان يشتري 100 stamp اوكي صرف 26 دينار. alright. If X of them are 20p stamps. 20p يعني 20 pence. 20 pence كأنك تقول 20 فلس. ف 20p أو 20 فلس. اوكي هاي بالأصح 2.6 بي دي مو ب 26 بي دي اوكي. ف 20 pence اللي هو 20 فلس اوكي stamps. if x of them are 20 يعني اشترى هو x حبات بهذا السعر ب 20 فلس اوكي. and the remaining y والy يعني الباقي سماهم variable y اشتراهم ب 35 فلس اوكي. write down an equation for x and y. فتشوفوا first step you have to understand the question وتحللونه من صوبكم. so he spent 26 pound أو قولوا 2.6 BD on 100 postage stamps اوكي. الفكرة ان هني the total amount of stamps كل اللي اشتراهم كلفه 2.6 BD. if x of them are 20p انزين x of them يعني العدة the number of stamps x انزين يساوي 20p اللي هو 20 فلس stamps and the remaining y are 35 pence stamps اللي هو باقي الستامبات كان يعني سعرهم 35 فلس. اكتب يعني write down two equations of x and y. ف first things first انزين first things first بس 2 seconds اوكي. first things first احنا نعرف total amount of stamps عندنا 100 صح ولا لا. اشترى a number x واشترى a number y بس نعرف ان التوتل يساوي 100 فيوم نضيف ال x plus y يساوي 100 لان هذا x number of stamps يعني كم stamp اشترى ب 20 فلس وال y is also a number the other number of stamps يعني كم ستامب اشترى وكان يسوى 35 فلس. حلو. فهاي اول ستيب. عندنا اول equation طلعناه the first equation of the simultaneous equation x plus y is equal to 100 تمام. now moving on we have to find another equation. طبعا we have to relate البرايس ال 20 فلس ويا الاكس بما معناه اذا الحين هو اشترى لك انزين نروح هني اول شيء اشترى لك هو 100 ستامب صح ولا لا excuse me اشترى لكم هو 100 ستامب اوكي. خلنا نشيل انا I don't want to use بحريني دينار وفلس وهذا عشان تفهمون السؤال نفسه اذا جاء السؤال نفسه في الامتحان. ف 20p انزين و 26 pounds okay 26 pounds okay. so for 26 pounds انزين هو اشترى 100 stamps يعني the total amount of stamps اشتراه ب 26 باوند. هني اشترى الاكس ب 20 بي واشترى الواي ب 30 بي انزين. اتوقع هني البي قصدهم باوندز بعد اوكي. المهم how do you form an equation for this. you have to simply you have to find out سعر التوتال اكسز والتوتال وايز ولازم السعر مالهم يساوي السعر مال التوتال ستامبس صح ولا لا. يساوي السعر ل 100 ستامبس اوكي. فاول شيء لازم تعرفونه هني في هالحاله هو 1 باوند يساوي 100 بي. ف if we want to convert this into p into pence بيستوي 2600 بنس. اوكي، هاي الشيء ما اتوقع لازم تحفظونه، بس شوي تفهمونه يعني. زين، نفس ما تعرفون ان الربيه 100 فلس، نفس الفكره بالضبط هني. ال1 باوند 100 بي. اوكي، 1 باوند از 100 بنس. فلو عندكم 26 باوند بيكون 2600 بنس. اوكي، هاي اول ستيب. وي هاف تو دو كونفرجن. اذا تذكرون يونت كونفرجن من ايام يعني ويك 1. It's a very simple conversion، لا تتعقدون وايد. كل اللي تسوون تضربون هاي باي 100 وبس. اوكي، فيستوي 2600 for 100 stamps. اوكي، فالحين احنا نعرف التوتال برايس، فنعرف something plus something. التوتال برايس بيساوي 2600 لان هاي التوتال برايس. بس هني لازم نسوي something plus something لان سعر these stamps total of these stamps وسعر total of these stamps ما نعرف بالضبط كم. بس كيف نطلعهم؟ عشان I explain this concept عشان I explain this concept إذا عندكم، خلنا نستخدم something simple. بطيخ، زين، watermelon. 1 watermelon يساوي، قولوا مثلا 1 BD. بطيختين كم بيساوون؟ 2 BD، صح ولا لا؟ 3 بطيخات كم بتساوي؟ 3 BD. احنا كيف قاعدين نعرف هالشيء؟ we are just multiplying هني with this number. فيعني لو نبغى نعرف حق بطيختين we are multiplying by 2. اذا نبغى نعرف حق 3 بطيخات we are multiplying by 3. لو تلاحظون هني قاعد اكتب 2 times watermelon 3 times watermelon. ف we are just multiplying directly multiplying. ففي هالحالة نفس الفكرة. اذا عندنا 1 stamp مال x يعني 1 x stamp يساوي 20. 2 stamp بيساوي كم؟ 20 ضرب 2 اللي هو 40. 3 stamp بيساوي كم؟ 20 ضرب 3. فإذا قلت لكم x stamp يساوي كم؟ بتكتبون 20 ضرب x. هاي الفكرة منها. فعرفنا التوتال برايس مال هالستامبس بيكون 20 times x. فهذا أول part of our equation 20x. أوكي، نفس الفكرة again we will do for y. فإذا عندنا حق y عندنا 1 stamp بيساوي 35 في السؤال مطلوب 35 بس عشان ما تخربطون. 35p. اوكي، 2 stamps بيكون كم؟ 35 times 2. بالمنطق يعني اذا اشتريت شيء واحد منه بيكون بربية، شيئين ربيتين، 3 ربيات. فاذا نبغى y stamps بيساوي 35y. ف total number of stamps of y يساوي 35y. فبنكتب هني plus 35y. وهذا ال second equation. فبالمنطق all the cost of the first stamps اللي هم ال x plus all the costs of the second stamps اللي هم ال y لازم يسوي ال total cost حق ال 100 stamps. وعندنا الحين two simultaneous equations. هذه ال simultaneous equations. اوكي، ال x plus y equal 100 وال 20x plus 35 تقدرون تحلونه نفس ما حلينا من قبل طريقة substitution elimination اللي أريح لكم. It's not mentioned in the question how you have to solve it. اوكي، اللي هو x plus y is equal to 100 أو 20x plus 35y is equal to 2600 وبس. and now we solve. before I solve أنا أباهم هذا يعني الحين الماث starts. هني اللوجيك بارت اللي understanding the question و formulating ال equations مالنا. now it's the math part. ف before I move on to the math part في حد عنده سؤال هني how I made this equation يعني how I got these two simultaneous equations؟ في شيء ما كان واضح؟ Yes, x is 60 I believe and y is 40. بس دقيقة, let me do it quickly in my mind. 600. Yep. انزين. I will repeat again حق second equation. Okay. احنا we know ايه اكيد you can use mode 5.1 عشان solving like I said, بس it's important to understand the method of solving. Just a quick recap for what I did. انزين خلني برد اكتب. انتوا فهمتوا السؤال, بس برد اكتب 20 pence for X stamps, 35 pence for Y stamps, و 2600 pence اللي هو 26 pounds for total اللي هو كان 100 stamps. اوكي, فهاي total price. فاحنا لازم نعرف انه بعد مثال ثاني something simple. لو رايحين بشاير تاخذون لكم عصير, زين قولوا العصير ب5 ربيات, ف 1 juice is equal to 5 فلس او 500 فلس. زين 5 ربيات بمعنى فهمتوا الوضع. if you want 2 juices كم بيساوي 10. كيف طلعنا 10؟ سوينا 5 times 2 منطق. if we have 3 juices بيكون 5 times 3. okay, and so on and so on. فهاي الفكرة. so we are gonna apply the same exact idea بس ويا الستامبس. فإذا قاعد أقول لكم 1 stamp حق الإكس يعني مال الإكس 1 stamp يساوي 20 pence. 2 stamps بيساوون 20 times 2, 20 pence times 2. صح ولا لا؟ نفس المنطق. 3 stamps will be 20 pence times 3. ف x number of stamps, لأن ال x هو the number of stamps, عدد الستامبس له. فعدد الستامبس x يساوي 20 pence times x, أو نكتبه 20x. نفس الفكرة حق الواي. الواي we have 1 stamp يساوي 35 pence. 2 stamps يساوي, إذا نبغى 2 stamps مثلا منه بيكون 35 times 2. فإذا نبغى y stamps يساوي 35 y. فعرفنا هني الإكويجن بيكون 20x, هني الإكويجن بيكون 20y. حلو. سوري 35y. y. Okay. To form the equation now, احنا we know that this is the number of stamps ويا السعر, يعني الستامبس مال x number of stamps يساوي 20x. هاي التوتال برايس مال الاكس ستامبس زائد التوتال برايس مال الواي ستامبس لازم يساوي سعر the total number of stamps. صح ولا لا؟ بالمنطق. فيساوي 2600. يعني انتوا الحين لو رايحين بشاير ماخذين عصير زين وماخذين معاه ملغوم, زين 1 ملغوم يساوي مثلا قولوا 10, زين 10 ربيات او دينار يعني, زين 2 ملغوم يساوي 20 ربية اللي هو 10 times 2. 3 ملغوم بيساوي 30 اللي هو 10 times 3 كمثال. فإذا الحين أنا قلت لكم خذيت أنا 2 ملغوم, ملغوم واحد وعصيرين, 1 ملغوم و 2 juices, بتضيفونهم الأرقام اللي حصلناهم, بتضيفونهم اللي هو 1 ملغوم يساوي 10 زائد 2j اللي هو 5 ضرب 2 اللي هو بعد 10 يساوي التوتال برايس مالي طلع 20 ربية يوم انا رحت اشتريت. فهاي الفكرة، نفس الفكرة بالضبط. فان البرايس مال ملغوم واحد وعصيرين تضيفونهم لبعض، تروحون تحولون بنفت 20 ربية وتاكلون اكلكم وتشبعون. نفس الفكرة بالضبط. هني we are doing the same exact thing. قاعدين نشوف الستامبس اللي نبغى نشتريهم. انا اشتريت 20 هالستامب الواحد ب 20 بنس، فانا اشتريت a specific number. زين. وبعدين ال 35 واي نفس الشيء، اشتريت a specific number of stamps، وعرفت ان التوتال برايس في الرصيد طلع لي 2600 بنس، 2600 pence. So when I bought these two stamps, the total price of it is 2600 و عندنا x number و y number and that's it, simple. فبعدين if we rewrite the equations كانوا أول واحد x plus y. x plus y يساوي 100. Just a reminder, this is just the total number of stamps. لأن عندنا إحنا x number of stamps و y numbers of a different stamp. And the total number we know is 100. For x plus y is equal to 100. 20x plus 35y is equal to 2600. And then you solve. Do you want me to solve it or do you know how to solve it mathematically? عشان I just move on to the next equation. لأن هني الحين like I just explained previously. If you prefer I solve it, I don't mind. بس I prefer and we move on عشان we try to cover as many questions as we can و properly finish simultaneous. Okay then. Let's go to the next question. Harry pays £850 for 5 kilograms of flour and 3 kilograms of sugar. Sara pays £13.20 for 8 kilograms of flour and 4 kilograms of sugar. If the cost of flour is pound per kilo and the cost of sugar is pound y or pound x by kilo, وهني pound y per kilo. انزين. Write down the two equations. Okay. فأول شيء نشوفه هو he told us what our x is and what our y is. بس أشرح السؤال. قاعد يقول لكم Harry pays £8.50 حق 5 كيلو فلاور اللي هو استغفر الله نسيته بالعربي، و 3 كيلو حق سكر. سارة pays 13.20 يعني 13.20 pounds حق 8 كيلو فلاور و4 كيلو من السكر. تمام. If the cost of the flour يعني سعر الفلاور per كيلو، كل كيلو من هالفلاور يساوي x pounds، والسعر مال الشكر يساوي y. انزين. فهو they already told us ان نستخدم x حق ال cost of flour والy حق ال cost of sugar per kilogram. نكتب لازم two equations. First step, x is equal to ال flour per kg وال y is equal to sugar per kilogram. cost سعر. زين. cost اوكي. السعر ماله. الحين احنا we need to formulate two equations. طبعا very straightforward. اذا احنا عندنا total cost نفس قبل، عندنا احنا total cost in each cases ان شاء الله. اذا الحين احنا عندنا ان شاء الله I will do the equation بعدين I will solve the one at the top. بس خليني اخلص هالسؤال. So الحين اذا احنا عندنا total cost معطلنا حق هاري. انزين. التوتال cost بنسميه total هاري h يساوي 8.50 اوكي. هذا حق هاري. والتوتال مال سارة السعر النهائي يعني طلع كم؟ 13.20. اوبس. زين. 13.20. دقيقة بس علقت علي الشاشة. زين. we have the total الحين cost مال سارة ومال هاري. نعرف ان هاري اشترى 5 كيلو of flour، فسعر ال5 كيلو of flour is x. صح ولا لا؟ فهو مشتري 5 كيلو اوف فلاور، فبنضربه هال5 كيلو باي اكس. ليش؟ لان احنا نعرف ان اتس اوف فلاور و5 كيلو، ونعرف الكوست مال الفلاور اكس، نفس الفكره اللي طبقناها في السؤال اللي طاف. انزين، هو الكوست تايمز amount. في هالحاله the amount number of kilos. اوكي، فبنكتب 5 times x لان احنا نعرف الاكس مالنا فلاور and 3 kilograms and plus 3 kilograms of sugar اللي هو 3x سوري 3 دقيقة بس. الون نوت اليوم مو براضي يشتغل عدل. plus 3y is equal to 850 التوتال برايس. فهمتوا انا شو سويت له؟ لان عندنا احنا 5 كيلوغرام فلاور ونعرف الكوست مال فلاور از اكس. فاذا يعني مثلا 1 كيلو يساوي اكس، ف2 كيلو بيساوي كم؟ 2x. 3 كيلو يساوي كم؟ 3x. ففي حالتنا احنا عندنا 5 كيلو بيساوي كم؟ 5x. نفس الفكرة حق الواي بالضبط، حق الشجر. 1 كيلو يساوي y، 2 كيلو يساوي 2y، 3 كيلو يساوي 3y. نفس المنطق بالضبط. ف the total price of 5 kilogram of flour and 3 kilogram of sugar بيكون 5 times x plus 3y is equal to 850. حق سارة نفس الشيء، عندنا 8 كيلوغرام of flour اللي هو 8x and 4 kilograms of sugar اللي هو 4y يساوي التوتال كم؟ التوتال هي دفعت 13.20. So we have our two equations اللي هو مال هاري plus y is equal to 8.5، وبعدين عندنا مال سارة اللي هو 8x plus 4y is equal to 13.2. بعد هاي simultaneous equation and then we will solve it إن شاء الله. بس المنطق does it make sense؟ اللوجيك، مفهوم السؤال، مفهوم الحل. anyone has any questions? بال. Okay, excellent. حلو, very simple, very straightforward. حد كان يعني he wanted me to solve this and let's solve it. insane. فعندنا هالإيكويشن x plus y is equal to 100, 20x plus 35y is equal to 2600. أنا my personal preference I solve usually in substitution, بس يعني أنتوا لازم تروحون اللي أريح لكم. You can do whatever you are more comfortable with. For this question I will solve it with what do you guys want me to solve it with? Put 1 if you want me to solve it with simultaneous. Put 2 in chat if you want me to solve it with elimination. 1 simultaneous, 2 elimination. chat راقد اليوم. خلاص 2 تمام. نسيت أنا 2 قلت elimination ولا substitution؟ أظني قلت elimination صح؟ okay. I did the first word problem لا أنا عم الحين solving the first word problem. أنت تباني نشوف دقيقة بس. I will do it again, no worries. بس خلني انزين. لا لأن this is a part of the word problem. ف let me just re-explain the whole first word problem بعد مرة. زين. So just you guys can look at it as a recap, okay? Then the idea is always going to be very similar. زين, when solving problems, it's always going to be very similar. I will just repeat this idea one more time. عندنا احنا او Savinder, he spends 26 pounds, يعني راح دفع 26 pounds on 100 postage stamps, يعني اشترى 100 stamps. he spent 26 pounds on 100 stamps. Okay? If X of them, يعني number of them, يعني إن عدة من العدد, a specific number of them that we do not know, X يساوون 20p. And the remaining الباقي, a number of Y يساوون 35p. Write down two equations in X and Y and solve them. لا ما بيكون 26x equal 100. لا تستعيل, watch the solution معي عشان you understand. لأنه هو شو التوتل ال 100 stamps سعرهم كامل كان يساوي 26, لكن بعض الستامبس أغلى من الستامبس the other, يعني الباقية. Some stamps are more expensive than the other stamps. So for example, يعني some of the stamps in this case are 20 pence, some other stamps are 35 pence. That's the idea. عشان شي we cannot do directly 26x equal 100. So we have to see exactly how much, يعني how many of each stamp was bought عشان the total will equal 26. So to do this, first we need to formulate two equations. The first equation is the number of stamps. So we have x number of stamps x plus a number of stamps y is equal to the total number of stamps, which is 100. Okay? يعني إذا اشترينا 50 أو 50 بيساوي 100, أو 60 و 40 بيساوي 100, أو 70 و 30 بيساوي 100. But we don't know what the number is. We know the total number has to be equal to 100. So we have an x number and a y number. So this is our first equation and we're done with it. Okay? Now, ال 26 pounds. يقولون لك هني ال x is equal to 20 pence وهني pence. So we have to do a little bit of conversion of the pounds into pence to make this to simplify. So مثل ما قلت earlier, الباوند 1 pound زين is equal to 100 pence. ف 26 pounds is going to be equal to 2600 pence. You just multiply by 100. You multiply by 100, multiply by 100 ويساوي 2600 pence p. عشان لازم يكون كل اليونتس نفس الشيء, كله in pence قاعدين نتكلم. Okay? هاي ال first step. Now to continue on, we know that x is 20 pence. For 1x, زين, أو 1 stamp of x, خلينا نقول هني x, 1 stamp. إيه محمد بالضبط, كلامك صح. You can do it either that way or the method I'm doing it where I'm changing الpound to الpence to الpound to pence. To continue, so عندنا x 1 stamp يساوي 20. فإذا عندنا 2 stamps يساوي 20 times 2 بالمنطق. Also so on and so on. X stamps بيساوي 20 times X, يعني 20X. هاي total cost of X number of stamps. نفس الشيء حق ال Y. 1 stamp يساوي 35. 2 stamps يساوي 20 أو 35 times 2. Y number of stamps يساوي 70 so 70 استغفر الله 35 Y. Okay? So that's the concept, that's the main idea. And now you are just trying to find the total cost in the X and you're trying to find the total cost in the Y. Okay? Now we can form our equation if OneNote wants me to. Just 1 second. Now we can form our equation. We know that 26, يعني we know the total cost of all the stamps, how much it is. It's 2600. So we need the number of X stamps, the cost of all the X stamps, which is 20X, plus the cost of the Y stamps, which is 35Y, is equal to 2600. alright. يعني total of y total of x add them يساوي كذي. ف when we are writing the simultaneous equation عندنا x plus y is equal to 100 و 20x plus 35y is equal to 2600. Another way of doing this بس عشان you have an idea نفس ما قلنا هني 1 pound يساوي 100 pence. اوكي نقدر نسوي بالطريقة العكس ان نقول البنس انزين يعني 1 pence يساوي 0.01 pound يعني ان you have to divide. فيعني بدال ما نقول 20 pence نقول x is 0.20 pound زين pound و y استغفر الله زين وال y يساوي 0.35 you get the points y يساوي 0.35p ال y. فيوم نكتب الايكويشن نقدر نكتبها بطريقة ثانية اللي هو 0.2x أو 0.20x plus 0.35y. This is just an extra method يعني it's not necessary you do it equal 26. بدل ما نغير 26 للزيروز نسوي هذيلا in terms of pounds. Both work بس عشان you grasp the concept. بس أنا I try graphing إن شاء الله it will be tomorrow and after tomorrow. I will try to start by if we finish simultaneous I will try to start just a brief of week 5 graphing. أظني لأن الweek 5 عندنا graphing if I'm not wrong. Yes, I will try to start a brief of week 5 if we finish everything here with simultaneous. But it's very important to understand the solving while simultaneous لأن it will بعدين be implemented in the graphing and you should already just understand this fully. Alright? So like I said, now we to solve the two equations we had x plus y is equal to 100 and y 20x plus 35y is equal to 2600. We will solve by elimination. I believe you guys wanted. So elimination we have to يعني multiply and cancel one of the variables. Let's go for cancelling. We're always cancelling x. Let's cancel y this time. بس عشان يعني تشوفون it will be the exact same thing. So to cancel y we go look for the y that is alone. And then we will multiply here with the number. We look at the signs first. The sign هني plus هني plus. لأن they are both positive we have to multiply by a negative number. They're both positive so we have to multiply by a negative number. Just give me 2 minutes. I want to see why يعني قاعد يعلق وايد عندي in OneNote. Just give me a few minutes so I can solve this issue. So like I said, we have plus. لأن we have plus and plus, we are eliminating y. لأن we have plus and plus, we have to multiply by a negative number. لأن they have the same signs. So a number that we will be multiplying with is the 35. لأن we want to cancel 35. So we have to multiply by minus 35. طبعا when we are multiplying here, we're going to have to multiply in every other شو اسمه in all the other variables as well. So we have to multiply here بعد. Just give me a second. Let me restart شو اسمه OneNote. So minus 35 times minus 35. Okay. Just give me 2 seconds. Coming back to the question, we have to multiply by negative 35 for everything. Okay. Now when we are going to add, okay, first of all, let's rewrite the equation. So when we are multiplying by minus 35, so it's going to be minus 35x minus 35y is equal to minus 35 times 100, which is يعني هذا if you do it it's equal to minus 3500. Alright, we continue solving. Now if we rewrite both equations, we have minus 35x minus 35y is equal to minus 3500, who 20x plus 35y is equal to 2600. We are trying to eliminate y's here. So step by step, we will look at the first component. We will look at this. Okay, minus 35x. بعدين the second one. We will go to the second one. بعدين we will go to the third one. بالorder, always write everything in order. Then the fourth one, and make sure you are doing the signs correctly. So when we are doing minus 35x, بعدين we will do plus 20x. Okay, obviously the x ما بيستوي cancel لأنه we are trying to cancel the y. بعدين بنكتب minus 35y plus 35y is equal to لأن ال equal sign, وبعدين we will in order minus 3500 with the sign plus 2600. Alright, ال minus 35 و 35y بيستوون 0, and they cancel out each other. So if we continue writing this equation, minus 35x plus 20x is equal to minus 3500 plus 2600. Alright, and minus 35x plus 20x will become, if you put this يعني تقدرون تسوونه بالcalculator or whatever, بيكون minus 15x يساوي minus 3500 plus 2600. إذا مو بغلطان minus 900. Someone just double check if I'm doing it right. بعدين you will divide by minus 15 and divide by minus 15. Okay, when you divide by minus 15, x will be equal to minus 900 over minus 15. Minus is obviously cancel, or you can just put it in the calculator. مفروض, if I'm not mistaken, this is 60. 615. المفروض هاي 60. Someone just double check with calculations. So x is equal to 60. Alright, now we plug into one of the two equations above there. زين, حلو, perfect. X plus y equal 100. We'll plug it back into this. So x plus y is equal to 100. بنحط احنا 60. We will plug it into the x over here. So 60 plus y is equal to 100. We'll take the 60 to the other side. Y is equal to 100 minus 60. Y is equal to 40. So there are 60 stamps that cost 20p, or 40 stamps that cost 35p. Does that make sense? Is it okay? Any questions in general about الحين الأسئلة هاي؟ إنزين, since there's no questions, do you want me to solve this one بعد؟ خلوني, I will solve this one بعد بس simultaneous equation. Okay. Okay. To solve this, زين, مثلا خلى هالمرة استخدمنا elimination قبل, خلى let's use substitution this time. Okay. للأسف هني we don't have any number by itself, يعني ما عندنا any variable x بروحها أو y بروحها أو whatever. يعني كله عندهم numbers components, زين, أو coefficients يسمونهم. ف it doesn't matter what we choose, we will choose just the first equation. 5x plus 3y, هني طريقة substitution I will use, is equal to 8.50. Okay. فإحنا we want to keep the x by itself on the left side. So 5x, we will take the 3y to the other side. is equal to 8.50 minus 3y, and divide by 5 both sides. For x is equal to 8.50 minus 3y over 5. Okay, هاي الx. صح, it's in terms of fractions, بس عادي بعدين we will deal with it, not an issue. فهاي our first step is done. We found our x from the first equation. فالحين we substitute this x in the second equation, which is 8x plus 4y is equal to 13.20. Okay. الx اللي هني الx اللي هني, we have to substitute this value into this x that is there. Okay. when we substitute بيطلع لنا الإكويشن 8.50 minus 3y over 5. إنزين, this is just the substitution of x, يعني هذا بس ال x. This is the same thing. والحين نكمل الإكويشن plus 4y is equal to 13.20. To answer your question, هو you cannot substitute this x in the same equation اللي طلعته منه, لأن this x احنا هالحين عشان بس to make something very clear, احنا استخدمنا equation 1 عشان we find the x by itself alone on the side, صح ولا لا؟ لأن we did that, okay. لأن we did that, فهذا equation 1. زين, بنسميه بس دقيقة, وهذا بنسميه equation 2. alright. فإحنا لأنه we used equation 1 عشان نطلع ال x بروحه, we used the first equation to get x by itself on the side, لازم نسوي substitution في ال second equation. فال x now needs to go into the second equation. ليش؟ لأن if you put it back in the same equation, you're not يعني solving two simultaneous equations. You're trying to solve the same equation by just substituting the same number, which makes no sense. So هذا من equation 1, هذا جاي من equation 1. فلأن هذا جاي من equation 1, the substitution has to happen in equation 2. Do not substitute back in equation 1. Alright? I hopefully this concept is clear. نبدأ نكمل الحل. ف if we distribute this, إنزين, distribute, alright, بيستوي 8 times 8.50 minus 8 times أو تقدرون نقولون plus 8 times minus 3y all over 5, alright, plus 4y is equal to 13.20. زين. if we simplify هني شوي اللي فوق هني, 8 times 8.50 68, yes, 68 plus 8 or minus to plus is 3 minus 8 times 3 24 y over 5 plus 4y is equal to 13.20. okay. طبعا you should already know how to solve when you have fractions. I think it was week 2 if I'm not mistaken, where it showed you how to solve those. Easiest way for me, عشان ما أعقد الأمور, anything that does not have a fraction I take it to the other side. يعني أي شيء أبغى أخلي أنا هذا ال 5 إنزين ال 68 minus 24y قصدي over 5, I want to keep it by itself on one side. So what will I do? I will take the 4y to the other side عشان يستوي الإكويشن 68 minus 24y over 5 is equal to 13.20 minus 4y. Alright? الحين to get rid of this 5 we just have to multiply both sides by 5, so times 5 وهاي كامل بيكون times 5. زين, ف 68 ال 5 وال 5 هني بيتكنسلون طبعا. 68 minus 24y is equal to 5 into 13.20 minus 4y. We are distributing here. زين, ف 68 minus 24y is equal to 5 times 13.20 minus 5 times 4y. alright, أو تقدرون تقولون plus 5 times minus 4y. alright, to simplify a bit, بعد ما راح 68 minus 24y is equal to 5 times 13.20 66 plus و minus يستوي minus لأن عندنا هني plus وهني عندنا minus يستوي minus 5 times 4 is 20 y. okay, now we have 68 minus 24y, 66 minus 20y on each side. Very easy to solve. Take the y's, put them on one side. We'll take the constants and take them to the other side. First, let's take the 68 here. بيساوي minus 24y يساوي 66 minus 20y minus 68 لأن هني plus فهني يساوي minus. إنزين الحين ناخذ الy نوديها الصوب اللي هو بيكون minus 24y هني minus و 20y فيستوي plus 20y in the other side is equal to 66 minus 68 24y plus 20 أو minus 24y plus 20 يستوي minus 4y is equal to 66 minus 68 is minus 4 for y is equal to 1. I know the math part seems very long. Y equal 1 بس عشان أوضح بعد. We're dividing minus 4 minus 4. minus 4 يتكنسل minus 4 over minus 4 is equal to 1 عشان تشيل y is equal to 1. The math part seems very long بس لأن أنا first of all I'm doing it very يعني بالتفصيل very detailed in a step by step so you guys understand the math that's going on. بس it is very simple يعني math that you have already learned before. You just have to make sure يعني you're following the proper steps. و eventually you will get the variable. فهني في الحالة we found y. ال y مالنا يساوي 1. ال x, now to find it we will substitute this y into the y here in this x equation. So x is equal to 8.50 minus 3 times 1 over 5. Alright? X is equal to 8.5 minus 3 over 5. X is equal to تحطونه في الكالكوليتر طبعا بيحل لكم كل شيء بس بعد just to be exact 5.50 over 5 if I'm not wrong. So X is equal to 1.1 I think. ما أعرف إيش أحس في شيء غلط في شغلي بس I'm not sure where. Let me just double check my work. Insane 5x 3y. Anyone has any questions? لأن I feel like I did something wrong. I'm just not sure where. I just want to double check. لأن الحين I'm just double checking with the solutions شو اسمه من ال worksheet نفسه and it's not similar. So just let me double check. The equations are correct. 8x plus 4y, okay, 8 minus 3y over 5, that's correct. We're substituting back here. 8 into 8.5 minus 3y over 5 plus 4y. 68 minus 24. I put minus 4 وين؟ هني لأن plus 4 إذا ودينا الصوب الثاني يستوي minus 4. هني plus دقيقة. I will go step by step. So let me check. 68 minus 24y. صح. صح. The x is supposed to be 1.4 or 0.5. There's a mistake in my calculation. I'm just trying to find out where it is. And I will tell you now how you can check if your if your mistake يعني if you have a mistake in the final answer يعني how to double check it بعد. بس just give me 1 second. 68 plus 4y هني صح. to a minus y times 5 صح. هني وزعنا minus 20 66 68 minus 24. okay. Oh my god, it's a very stupid mistake. And I said 66 minus 68 is equal to 4, but 66 minus 68 is equal to minus 2. هاي الغلطة اللي سويتها. Let me just fix that real quick. يعني تشوفوا you make sometimes stupid mistakes وتخسرون وايد علامات if you're going very quick. Don't do the same mistakes that I just did. if we rewrite this minus 24 يساوي minus 4y يعني وهذا يساوي minus 2. okay, so when we divide by minus 4 I am recording all these classes. yes, if I am dividing by minus 4 minus 4y انزين وهني divide by minus 4 بعد y minus 4 minus 4 will cancel. y will be equal to minus 2 over minus 4 which is equal to 0.5. بالكالكوليتر يعني you can cancel الماينس ماينس 2 over 4 يساوي half يعني 0.5. فالواي يساوي 0.5. نرجع بس للإكويشن اللي فوق 1 minute. نرجع بس لهالإكويشن اللي هني substitution مالي كان بدال 1 نمسح كل هذا. فبدال ماينس يعني بدال 1 الواي لازم يكون الواي هني يساوي 0.5. فبنحط 0.5 في الإكويشن. x is equal to 8.5 minus 1.5 over 5 اللي هو 3 times 0.5 يعني x is equal to 8.5 بيستوي 7.7 over 5. هذا ال x value أو 1.4. فشو معناته الحين ال x وال y؟ احنا لو تتذكرون السؤال من قبل السؤال كان يقول لكم ال x هو ال cost of flour وال y is the cost of sugar. فنقدر نقول cost of 1 kilogram flour is 1.4 pounds اللي هو ال x وال cost of 1 kilogram sugar يساوي هذا ال x زين وهذا ال y يساوي 0.5 pounds. Is everything clear? الحل شكله it's a bit messy بس just don't make silly mistakes like I just did. بس it's very straightforward. I was just doing algebra, very basic algebra بس كنت أسوي step by step عشان يكون واضح. Any further questions anyone might have? Recorded session yeah I will solve C. Recorded sessions بيكونون I think someone is already recording it through Teams بس أنا I'll also upload it through YouTube and يعني send it for easier access. I'll send it the link as soon as we're done with the meeting today with this session. How to solve part A quadratic substitution method. And then we'll finish with word problems and then we'll go back. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to start graphing today, but عادي. That's not an issue and the graphing wouldn't take much time. I need you guys to understand these concepts more. They're way more important. And then let's do first 3. وبعدين I will check. We will go back to the other questions to see what you have, like what you guys need more to clarify. A toothbrush and a tube of toothpaste cost $4.15. The toothbrush costs 25p less than a tube of toothpaste. Find the cost of each item. Okay. فlet's call a toothbrush X, let's call a toothpaste Y. اوكي الكوست ماله، يعني الكوست مال التوثبرش بروحه والكوست مال التوثبيست بروحه. ف both of them together اللي هو X plus Y costs a toothbrush and a tube of toothpaste, they cost 4.15. هاي أول equation. بعدين يقول لك toothbrush which is X costs 25p less than Y toothpaste. بما معناه التوثبرش إذا سوي التوثبرش الإكس مالنا إنزين is 25 less than Y. يعني Y is more than X 25 times. نقدر نكتبها بطريقة ثانية. التوثبرش الكوست ماله يعني if you subtract the cost مال هاد toothbrush, if you remove the cost of this toothbrush from the toothpaste, it will be equal to 25. بما معناه هاي فهمك للسؤال. انزين الحين الواي هاي second equation الواي minus x equal 25. I will repeat it ان شاء الله. Keep in mind this is 25 pence. انزين this is 4.15 pound. فلازم هني يعني يا نسوي هذا نشيل البوينت نسوي 415 يعني ان x plus y is equal to 415 pence. انزين دقيقة بس. انزين ف x plus y is equal to 415 pence and y minus x is equal to 25 pence. اوكي او تقدرون يعني تقولون مثلا y is equal to x plus 25 pence مثلا. زين ليش؟ لانه قاعد يقول لكم التوث برش cost 25 pence less than the toothpaste of y. يعني ان التوث برش زائد 25 بيساوي التوثبيست. You know, when you're adding the toothbrush with the cost 25, it will equal to the toothpaste. So you can look at it at many different ways. But you have to understand ان the cost of the toothbrush is less than the cost of the toothpaste by how much? By 25p. فالtoothbrush بما معنى if you are subtracting a toothbrush from the toothpaste البرايس مالهم بيبقى لك 25 pence. فيعني you can either write it in this way or you can write it in this way. طبعا when you're coming to solve it as a simultaneous equation, زين when you're coming to solve it in a simultaneous equation you have to order them. يعني لازم تسوون الترتيب. ف x plus y is equal to 415 و y minus x is equal to 25. عشان نسوي الترتيب الصح بنسوي x plus y is equal to 415 و minus x plus y is equal to 25. الحلاوة هني the nice thing the beautiful thing عندنا already x و minus x ف we can instantly add them. بيستوي x minus x اللي بيستوي 0 plus y is equal to 415 plus 25. alright 2y اللي هو y plus y يساوي 2y is going to be equal to 415 plus 25 اللي هو 440. alright so y is equal to 440 طبعا dividing by 2 يساوي 440 over 2 which is equal to 220 pence. in pounds إذا تبون تحولونه in pounds you have to divide by 100 اللي هو 2.20 pounds. بالسعر لا نفس فكرة 100 فلس ودينار نفس الفكرة أو 10 فلس ودينار نفس الفكرة بالضبط. أو الربية والفلس هذا أحسن طريقة تفهمونه الربية والفلس فاللي هو فلس و100 فلس نفس الفكرة. إنزين فيعني لو أقول لكم عندكم 220 فلس هاي كأنه ربيتين فاصلة 2 نفس الفكرة بالضبط. إنزين وبعدين نرد نعوض in any of these equations. الواي الحين نعرف. إنزين بس حاسبوا التعويض اللي بتعوضونه بيكون in pence. so التعويض بيكون 220 220 زين pence. إذا بتعوضونه في any of these equations خلينا نعوضه في الأولي زين x plus y equal 415 y الواي بنعوضه هني directly فالx plus 220 is equal to 415 انزين x is going to be equal to, we'll take the 220 to the other side, x is equal to 415 minus 220 which is equal to الكالكوليتر على السريع 415 minus 220 it's equal to 195. Again the answer that we are getting is in P 195 pence. فالواي عندنا 220 pence اللي هو الواي شنو كان؟ الواي احنا قلنا عنه انه التوث برش if I'm not mistaken. زين الواي التوث بيست والاكس التوث برش فاحنا الواي سميناه التوث بيست والاكس اللي هو 195 هو التوث برش. alright ف again this is in pence. you can also إذا الجواب ممكن يجيلكم in pounds لازم تجاوبون فبيكون 2.20 pound والإكس بيكون 1.95 pound. for checking purposes عوضوا الواي والإكس مع بعض هني أو عوضوا واحد من الأرقام هذيله back in the main equations اللي طلعتوهم any of the equations بس عوضوا in both. يعني وين simultaneous equations وانا هذيله هاي simultaneous اللي حليناهم alright فعوضوا الإكس هني وبعدين بعد مرة عوضوا الإكس هني وتأكدوا الواي value اللي بيطلع لكم the y values that you will get are equal are the same. okay substitute x or y يعني you can choose but substitute one value in both of the equations and make sure both your x's and both your y's are equal to the same number. If they are not equal معناته you might have a calculation mistake somewhere. x minus 0.25 دقيقة قلت can we do method substitution method x plus y is an x plus y equal 4.15 و 0.25 minus y لا بيكون إذا أنت تبغى تسوي substitution method الx بيساوي y minus 0.25 مو 0.25 minus y لأن شوف لو if you're reading this x is 25 less than y فبما معناه كأنه تقول y minus 0.25 يساوي x لأن 25 less than فأنت بتشيل 25 من y you're subtracting the 25 from the y ف y minus 0.5 أو في حالتنا اللي هو يعني قاعدين نستخدم 25. okay does that make sense محمد؟ خليني بس أشوف الأسئلة. هل في طريقة نقدر نشوف منها نماذج اختبارات؟ to be honest أنا أظني حاطين online على الموديل في نموذج بس I haven't checked it out. I don't know if it just يعني shows كيف الحل بيكون أو كيف حد سوى النموذج الأونلاين practice. Did anyone test it؟ عنده فكرة عن الموضوع؟ لأن في أونلاين تست على موديل إنزين نفس sample exam هو كل حد عنده نفس الأسئلة بس بيكون نفس sample exam عشان تعرف كيف بيكون الاختبار من ناحية موديل أونلاين كيف تختار الأجوبة كيف تحط الأجوبة وكذي ونفس الوقت practice. أنا نصيحتي البراكتس تسوون كل الورد بروبلمز اللي already موجودين عندكم يا من التيتشر سايد أو من أو الستودنت يعني worksheets أو التيتشر worksheet تسوونهم. It's more than enough practice in my opinion. If you understand them all of them then you are fine for the exam. Just keep practicing on the same questions over and over again but not يعني ورا بعض without looking at the answers obviously. يعني مثلا خلصتوا week 3 4 5 6 ترجعون بعد مرة لweek 3 تسوونه من أول وجديد 4 5 6 حق another worksheet for example and so on and so forth. That's my advice for practice. Since we are very tight on time, I just want to make sure no one has. There was a question for the old one. كنتوا تبوني أسوي شيء حق worksheet 1. Can someone just remind me what was what we wanted for worksheet 1? خلينا نشوف الأسئلة. How to solve a part A in quadratic equation substitution. already حليت part A أنا لا. Substitution method. Okay إنزين. So let me just do that again. سريع. اللي هو this one. You want me to do this in substitution method صح؟ part A. فالequations اللي عندنا y plus x equal 5 and y is equal to 2x squared minus 6x plus 8. Whatever اللي ما عندكم quadratic منه إنزين اللي مو quadratic in this case whatever is not quadratic which is y, that's what you will keep on the side. y is equal to, we will take the 5x to the other side إنزين اللي هو 5 minus x إنزين. Then we will substitute in y. الحين هاي ال substitution مالنا هاي أول step. We will substitute in equation 2 ال y. فهال y it will go into here. Alright? So simply all you will do is 5 minus x is equal to 2x squared minus 6x plus 8. مثل ما تشوفون substitution is much easier than elimination. خلاص عندنا الحين الفورمولا مالنا. We will just put everything on one side. يعني هذول كله بنجيبهم هالصوب إنزين كله بنوديهم هالصوب. We'll do it step by step. أول شيء بنودي ال 5 ف 2x squared sorry سموحة يعني بس تحملوا معي شوي ما أدري ليش هالقد مخرف عندي اليوم السيستم. إنزين like I said we will just move the 5 first فيبقى لنا minus x is equal to 2x squared minus 6x plus 8 هني positive فبيروح هني بيصير negative sorry minus 5 minus 5 إنزين وهني بحين الماينس x بعد we will take it to the other side عشان يكون عندنا one side 0 2x squared minus 6x 8 minus 5 يساوي 3 إنزين plus 3 هاي ال 8 minus 5 I'm just simplifying minus x becomes plus x on the other side. Just to rewrite the equation بس بنعكس ال left وال right sides عشان يكون سهل. 2x squared minus 6x plus x زين بس ال x I'll put it before the 3 plus x plus 3 is equal to 0. If we want to simplify this we can simplify it more. 2x squared minus 6x plus x يكون plus 5x sorry minus 5x plus 3 is equal to 0 وبعدين you solve the quadratic equation. بنطلع الجواب x1 x2 نفس قبل بالضبط. If you notice it's the same equation x1 x2 نطلعهم بعدين نعوض back in any equation ونطلع y1 و y2 done. This is the substitution method. Just to recap very quickly على السالفة. So you will always look at the variable that does not have a quadratic equation زين. In this case it's the y. ال x هني في ال quadratic part ال squared part ف you will look at the y. You will separate the equation y on one side. طبعا we're talking about the one in the one without the quadratic. y on one side 5 minus x بيستوي بعدين تعوضون ال 5 minus x بعدين you simplify this equation إنه يكون الفورم ax plus يعني إنه to satisfy this form اللي هو ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. modify 3 تطلعون الأجوبة أو بالطريقة الثانية and that's it. Any other questions before we end this session? Inshallah, tomorrow we will do عيال. I will try to finish 5 and 6 together. And we will try graphing. It will take much less time, but this concept, simultaneous equation and quadratics, very important. You need to practice a lot with these, especially when you will use them again in graphing. So it's very important that everyone understands these points. Okay, part C. إنزين. Part C of the same one, لا الquadratic اللي هو y squared x اللي هو this one. Y squared is equal to x. Y is equal to 2x minus 6. Okay, this is the simultaneous equations. You can do them obviously in any way. You can either do them in elimination or substitution. Abdullah, what would you prefer? Me to solve it in elimination or substitution? شوف, I'll do them both real quick. إنزين, إذا سوينا substitution, أول طريقة substitution. already عندنا x is equal to y squared. already عندنا يعني نقدر نعرف إنه x is equal to y squared, صح ولا لا؟ دقيقة, x is equal to y squared, صح ولا لا؟ إنزين, فنقدر ناخذ هال x ونعوض. Just give me a second, let me restart النوت مالي لأن وايد بدأ يعلق. ليش شي صاير الون نوت؟ هاي other one note دقيقة. انزين. So like I said, كله اختفى الشغل عادي, no issue. رد نكتب بس equations. y squared is equal to x, وعندنا y is equal to 2x. y is equal to 2x minus 6. okay, طريقة substitution already عندنا هني x is equal to y squared. حلو, بنعوض هاي الاكس في الايكويشن 2. ف y is equal to 2 into x اللي هو y squared minus 6. إنزين, if we simplify this, y is equal to 2y squared minus 6. Put it in the quadratic form. In this case بدال xy يعني ay squared plus plus by plus c is equal to 0. فبس بنحطه في هالفورم. إنزين, بس بنودي الواي هالصوب, فبيستوي 0 is equal to 2y squared minus 6 minus y. حلو, and then 2y squared, بس بنرد نرتب الايكويشن شوي. 2y squared minus y minus 6 is equal to 0, and done. And done. Now you solve, you find y1 y2, تعوضون في الايكويشن, any equation of these تعوضون فيه عشان تطلعون x1 و x2. make sense عبد الله؟ simple لا؟ حد يسوي لي المود 5.3 عشان بس يشيك الفاليوز ماله هني. إذا بنسوي الطريقة الثانية يعني y1 is equal to minus b, which is minus 1 اللي هو plus 1 plus square root b squared اللي هو 1 minus 4 times a times c. زين, اوكي, هذا طلع دقيقة. متأكدين انتم من جوابكم؟ ما أظني صح جوابكم. حطيتوا 2 minus 1 و minus 1 وهاي طلع الجواب. let me just double check from my side بعد 2 و minus 1.5 زين. let me just double check from my side. minus 4 plus 1 minus 4 AC اللي هو 2 minus 6 over minus 2 sorry مو minus 2A اللي هو 2 times 2. زين y2 بيكون نفس الايكويشن بالضبط فوق بس بدال بلس بيكون minus 1 minus 4 2 minus 6 over 2 times 2 بس to double check. زين أنا I prefer using this method. يعني أنا when I was taught I wasn't taught using mod 5.3 for anything. كله حفظونا بس الإيكويشن عشان شي I'm just more comfortable using this equation. ف one of them will be 2 نفس ما قلتوا. زين والثاني بيكون 1 minus دقيقة بس 1 minus 4 فهذا minus 6 divided by 4 minus 3 over 2. اوكي صح. عيل just be careful لأن في الانسر كي الجواب غلط طالع. في الانسر كي مال شو اسمه حاطين 2 بس حاطين 3 over 4 هني ما ادري ليش. it's supposed to be 3 over 2 في الانسر كي مال الورك شيت. there is a mistake. اوكي سمبل. لا عرفتوا الحين شو تسوون بعدين تردون تعوضون. زين تقدرون تعوضون في any of the equations. you can put it back in this equation or that equation. فخلنا ناخذ مثلا لو تبون تعوضون في y squared equal x. the way to do it in this case it's going to be square root both sides y equals square root x. if you don't know this method it's fine بس عوضوا في ال equation الثاني. فنتذكر y1 is equal to 2 y2 ف y1 is equal to 2 and y2 is equal to 3 over 2 if I'm not mistaken. they're not on positive لا minus 3 over 2. اصلا هني حتى you don't have to do this. it's لان احنا عندنا ال y value نبغى نطلع ال x فنقدر نعوض directly. مو لازم تسوون هالشي. ف literally just plug in y into here and find x. يعني هني بما معناه x is equal to y squared. فبنحط ال 2 في ال y squared so x1 is equal to 2 squared which is equal to 4. y1 حق y2 قصدي y2 equal 3 over 2 ف x2 is equal to 3 over 2 squared which is equal to 9 over 4. اوكي حاسبوا في او سوري يعني minus 3 over 2 squared بس لا تنسون minus 3 over 2 الماينس بيستوي plus when you square it فيستوي 9 over 4. اوكي just one comment انزين one comment هني if في الورك شيت مثل ما قلت لكم في غلطة كاتبين y2 is equal to 3 over 4 which is wrong. it's supposed to be minus 3 over 2 3 over 2 minus 3 over 2 صح الجواب. كل شيء ثاني صح بس هاي الغلطة الوحيدة اللي كاتبين minus 3 over 4 كاتبين. زين بس everything else is correct. and of course you can always double check by plugging in back into this equation ال x وتتأكدون ان ال y value يكون نفس الشيء for both y1 and y2. clear can we خلاص نقدر نسكر لأن شوي طولنا في الميتينج وعندي I have another past leader session after an hour so I want to just take a break. Any questions you guys have generally about simultaneous equation? I hope explanation مالي كان واضح إن شاء الله يعني you know most of you understood what I was saying. الحين إن شاء الله I'll just finish the recording and المفروض يعني you guys already have the recording through Teams automatically. It will send to you. بس I will also upload my own recording on YouTube just in case. يعطيكم العافية. Reminder, tomorrow, just a quick preview. Tomorrow we're gonna do all of week 5. We're gonna finish graphing here, and we will try to start week 6 a bit in parabola graphing if we have the time. إنزين. But I wanna try to finish week 5 and 6 as much of it tomorrow. عشان after tomorrow I want to be able to finish just week 7, focus on it by itself, even though it's very easy. بس عشان حتى I leave some time so that you guys have a chance to ask your questions about any of the other weeks, maybe even week 1, 2, or 3. And yeah, that's it. A revision, like I said, الحين when we end the meeting, there's going to be a recording from Teams. It should be, someone already started the recording for this. And on top of that, I will upload a link on YouTube and send you the link just in case if it's easier for you to access it through YouTube. All right. الله يعطيكم ألف عافية. I wish you guys all the best. week 1 week 3 ما في recordings لهم للأسف. أظني سارة كانت مسوية يعني old recordings before, where when she was doing a revision session for the practice for the quiz, sorry. فنفسه يعني هناك بيكون. I will try to find those videos and I will have Sara forward it to you, أو أنا من صوبي I'll forward it to you إن شاء الله. بس يعني for the midterm practice ما سوينا شيء. ما سوينا recording. تمام. If there's no further questions, you guys can leave. وإن شاء الله I'll see you guys tomorrow.